yo. I hit the jeweler, got some goals. I sold a little weed, but I could never sell my soul. And when I'm in LA, you find me out in Lil Tote. Come a vocal with my ramen, I'ma need another bowl. Let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a special episode of the M&K Productions Podcast. I am joined here by my co-host, Kristen, aka Miss Flamingo, and of course, I am the host with the most, Mac. Kristen, how you doing today?
Good. We have to roll out the red carpet for this one now, because
Yes,
we
we
are
do.
talking Oscars.
Yeah.
Oscar season. This is the last award show that wraps up, the cinephile-esqueness. It's the Super Bowl of award shows, I must say, for the cinephile community. There's rivals, there's tension, saying what, should have been nominated, what isn't. Is it all for fun? Yes, but we are joined by a special guest today. Mac, introduce our special guest.
He is the man. He is the myth. We haven't had him on in almost a year. Last time he was on, we talked about The Prom, a movie I infamously fell asleep in, but I'm not going to fall asleep in this episode. We are joined here by Jackie K. Cooper.
Woo! Yes, the man is back.
I am so glad to be here.
We are so happy to have you back. You
It's
are
so exciting.
you are a favorite on this show, so we are so thrilled that we decided to have you on for our Oscar special. And there's no other person we would love to have on this Oscar special than you, because you are a great movie expert.
There's nobody whose show I would rather be on than y'all.
Oh. See, this is where we had to roll out the red carpet, and then E-News needs to bring all three of us on just to discuss this. I think that's
Absolutely. I'm sure by next year they will have gotten the word.
Yes, we need to send this out to, well, Ryan Seacrest doesn't do it anymore. We'll send it out to him or Kris Jenner, whoever runs E-Network now.
One of them.
Before we get into it too far, I just wanted to introduce my co-host on all my Instagram things, and she also films all my YouTube videos. This is Amber Garrett,
Yes.
AG the intern.
That's my stage name.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm here just for a little bit. I'm not going to stick around too long. I'm Jackie's co-host on
And
Instagram.
She sets up all the equipment, which, as you say, Kristen, that's not your thing. That's not my thing. I have to have somebody who can work the camera, who can edit, who can do all that stuff. I can't do any of that stuff. So
But I can.
you can.
So that's why I'm
You
here.
can. And then when we got together, I never knew that she would appear on camera, and I asked her one day to do an Instagram video with me, and
The rest is
the
history.
camera just loved her.
The rest is
So-
history.
We became co-hosts.
Yeah.
You guys are a great duo, I must say. For those who guys need to go follow them on Instagram
Go
and
to Instagram, follow us.
YouTube and even TikTok. You guys are just so cute together. I just love it. And one of my favorite videos you guys ever did was the Billie Eilish review, because
Oh, yes.
Jackie, you were not a fan of it, but Amber, my girl here,
Oh, yeah.
we're both, I could tell from, we're both Billie Eilish fans, and I'm ready for some Billie Eilish, and I thought it was great. But Jackie, I understand why you weren't a fan of it.
Let me tell you, Kristen, I went to Billie Eilish's concert in Atlanta like 3 weeks ago, and I touched her. I had front row seats.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I'm officially jealous. Okay, yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
She offered me a ticket. I said no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jackie,
Jackie, that would have been a great YouTube video. A night out with Amber on the town, seeing Billie Eilish dancing the night away.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
that would have been a really great
It was
vlog.
to
But,
that.
but otherwise, Amber, I'm glad you enjoyed the show, because I haven't been able to get a ticket.
oh,
So
it was such a good show. I would go again if I could. It
And
was
she's
great.
going to Justin Bieber concert in 3 weeks.
oh, very exciting. Very,
Yeah.
very exciting. Did you watch the concert documentary that he put out last year, the one that was
I
on
did.
Amazon Prime?
Yeah, Jackie did, and I say I'm the biggest fan ever, but I didn't watch it. This is another reason I can't help with the Oscar talk. Okay? I'm
okay.
leaving soon, so don't worry.
That's okay. But you weren't missing much from the concert anyways. He performed all his big hits, but
Right.
you get to see him in concert, so that's even better.
Even better.
Yep.
So-
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure that y'all got introduced to Amber. So
Yes, go follow them, guys. If you haven't already, what are you doing? Go follow them.
Link will be in the bio, of course, of this video.
Alrighty, thank you, Amber, for your time. Thank you for coming on. And Jackie,
she and her boy who's a friend who's a boy are going to go have some supper.
We're going to go eat some dinner.
Okay, good.
Nice to meet you guys. Maybe one
Nice
day
to
we can
meet
talk and
you.
see each other.
Yes. All righties, Jackie. Are you ready to talk some Oscars?
I'm ready.
All righties, Mac. Are you ready?
Yes, we are. Let us get into the categories. Okay, so starting off tonight's discussion for our Oscar predictions and Oscar run-throughs, we're going to start off with the best adapted screenplay category. So the nominees for this category are Coda, Drive My Car, Dune, The Lost Daughter, and The Power of Dog.
So, Jackie, do you want to say off your first prediction first, or do you want to hear?
You know, this is not favorites. This is who I think is the leader in this, and I'm gonna go with The Power of the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
I just have y'all both seen it?
I have. I think it's a brilliant film by Jane Campion. I thought it was a great direction that she took with the story. I really like the performances itself. I think the performances stand out more than the actual film, though.
Like, Christian, those twists that you didn't see coming. Or at
Yes.
least I didn't see coming.
Yeah, and it made me, like, as someone who wasn't familiar with the book, this is the kind of film that made me feel like, okay, then this is something actually worthy to check out and actually read, because I was not familiar with the material at all, and I really liked the way that it was illustrated on screen. It was very, very emotional, especially from Benedict Cumberbatch, which we'll discuss a little bit more later. But yeah, I completely agree with Jackie and your pick for Power of the Dog. I think another strong chance, at least from my view, but I do not think it will win. Like Jackie just said, it could go to Power of the Dog. I think Coda is also a strong chance, given how it just won the two SAG Award nominations. The Hollywood Critics Association just gave it a couple of awards on Monday night. This previous Monday night. So I think that one is a good shot.
Up for Critics' Choice.
Yes.
I'm a member of that organization.
And did you enjoy Coda, Jackie?
I did. I think I need to go back and watch it again because I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. But I've been watching these awards and everything, and I've been talking to people who said, oh, that had such an emotional impact on me and all that sort of thing. I don't know. Maybe it was just my mood at the time that I was watching it, but I didn't get immersed in it like I should have.
Yeah, I think I have to agree what you just said about, people getting immersed with, especially Coda, because I picked out the right time to watch this. It's a good movie to watch with your family because me and my parents, we all cried. It was a great family movie night. So, especially with the lead performance from Amelia Jones, I believe that's how you say her name. I think she really carries this film.
Yeah.
So I think Coda has a very strong chance, but the other nominees I'm a little hesitant about. So Mac, what do you think?
I was actually gonna say Coda. I watched that recently, and it was very emotional. I will say it was a very powerful movie. Like you were not overstating it when we were doing our top 10 best movies of the year. I was like, oh my goodness. But for me, I think the dark horse candidate that I think might shock everyone, I'm gonna go with Dune.
It was so funny because I was gonna say that next because to me, that's based on the Frank Herbert, is that, or Herbert?
Hebert.
Yeah, Hebert novels. They really captured to me the essence of his books.
And Jackie, did you read them?
I did, but it was
okay.
a long time ago.
Yeah, my boyfriend actually read the first book because, he's invested in all the sci-fi fantasy stuff, and that was a birthday present I got for him, and he really enjoyed it. Once he had to do more research on it, and once he saw the film, he understood why. The film was he was very questioning it. Why, how are they going to tell this in all that 2 hour and a half, time length of a film. But then, word got out. It was like, oh, it's going to be split into 2 parts. And he goes, okay, that's going to make sense. He did like the first one, though. So I will say that.
Splitting, though, is going to work against it in these categories because people are going to think, well, I've only seen half the story, And I don't know about y'all, but when I saw it, I didn't know it was going to be 2 movies.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I didn't either.
I'm sitting there watching it, and it ends, and I'm thinking, where'd it go?
Yeah, I think that was the mostly people had it with its conflicts because given how in-depth the film goes with it, it's very slow, and once you get to the juiciness and the impactness that it goes to the end, you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? It's like, well, you have to tune in for part 2. It's like, you go back each week for a new episode of like, your favorite linear weekly show. And then, okay, The Good Doctor, you got to find out what's happening next week.
Yeah.
So,
but this isn't on the screenplay part, but I am a big Zendaya fan.
Oh, we love Zendaya here.
And I thought, oh, good, I'm going to see a Zendaya movie. Did you just roll your eyes, Mac?
You're not.
Oh no, I did it. No,
Man.
that kid. No, I love Zendaya. I was just thinking because I'm like, when I was doing like, she's barely in the movie.
Yeah,
That's
she's
the point.
barely
I thought I was seeing a Zendaya movie, and she barely has anything to do at all.
That's what everybody said, but then she's going to be in it more in the next one. From what I was told, she will be in it more.
Okay,
and that's what I'm ready for.
That was not a disrespectful eye roll, I promise. I actually like Zendaya. I loved her.
Great.
I've loved her shake it up, so I got no ill will towards her. I think she's.
She redeemed herself in the Spider-Man films and in Euphoria. I must say that Euphoria, that season 2, was pretty spicy. All righties. Moving on to original screenplay. We got Belfast, written by Kenneth Branagh. Don't Look Up, screenplay by Adam McKay, and story by Adam McKay and David Sorda. King Richard, written by Zach Baylin. I think I'm saying that name correctly. Licorice Pizza, written by Paul Thomas Anderson, and then The Worst Person in the World. They didn't write this about you, Mac.
Yeah, my life story.
No, Worst Person in the World. Eric Elzik Voigt and Joim Tier. I don't know if I said those terms properly, but I haven't seen The Worst Person in the World yet. I've seen all these though.
It's a good movie. The Worst Person in the World. It is a good movie. It's not my pick for the winner, but it is.
What is your pick though, Jackie?
I'm 100 years older than y'all are. I'm more traditional. I picked Belfast.
Yes,
Yeah,
I enjoyed Belfast.
Yeah.
Belfast was really, really good, and I think Kenneth Branagh's best work ever.
I think he's gonna sweep up this Oscars because it's nominated for so many categories that if it doesn't win at least like 3 of them or 4 of them, I'm gonna consider that a disappointment.
Yeah, I think that will be big though. The other big one was the hot ticket item was Licorice Pizza, which I was not a fan of. Given
I'm not either.
Thank you, Jackie. I would give you.
Oh my gosh! I sat there and thought, what am I watching?
I'm giving you a virtual high five, knowing
Yay.
that there was someone other than me who did not enjoy it because for me, we live in this area where times are changing, and I did not like the fact that Paul Thomas Anderson glorified this age difference between a 15-year-old and this 20-something-year-old girl.
Is that what the movie's about?
Yeah, the guy falls in love with Alana Haim.
25 in the movie.
And she claims to be 25. And I should say that the kid is like between 15 and 17, but he's young enough. But I believe it's 15. But now we live in this day where we are living in these times, and to me, I do not agree with that. Like, an adult should not be going towards a young man like that. It just didn't set right with me as I was watching this entire film. Like, everybody wants to root for them, and I don't think that was appropriate, So, but Jack,
I will have to say this: I was fascinated by the fact that Cooper Hoffman is the son of Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes, he is. He is.
And I was a great
Christmas.
fan of Philip Seymour Hoffman. Just
Yeah.
thought he was terrific. And hopefully that his son is going to have a great career. I didn't think that this movie showcased his talent that much.
Mhm.
I'm a Paul Thomas Anderson fan of some of his films, but this one just didn't do it for me at all.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And I think this one really missed the mark in some cases because a lot of people were hyping this movie up, saying, you know, this is the film of the year. And
I didn't see any advertisement until like it was already on DVD. I was like, wait, what? I didn't see anything online for it. I was like, I didn't even know it was.
Currently, it's still out in theaters, but it didn't get like initial hype until like after Thanksgiving because I didn't get to see this film until like the first week of January when it was like released nationwide, and then AFI gave it the film of the year. So I don't know what they're thinking. So
you know what I wish? You know what I think? Actually, we all say Belfast, right?
I'm gonna say Belfast, but then there is that strong chance.
I was gonna say Don't Look Up.
Yes, because it's an. And now, Jackie, did you enjoy Don't Look Up?
I was looking down the whole way.
You were looking down. Don't.
Yeah, don't look at the screen. This is terrible.
Down.
I did not. I did not see the satire. I didn't get the symbolism.
Oh.
I just saw stupid people acting stupidly.
Yes, thank you. Okay, see, Jackie, we're on the same page here tonight. I love it.
Oh, you didn't like it either?
I did not like it either. I thought it was one of the worst movies
I thought it was
Adam McKay had ever done. And the man has done great movies. And The Big Short is one of his best films like ever. What was this?
I thought it was okay. I think the thing is like, for a movie like this, I think Netflix was the best option for it to go on because it's more accessible to people, and people are just, if they're scrolling through Netflix, they just see new movie and it's like in the top 10. That whole top 10 thing that Netflix has now, it works for a lot of movies' favors. And with Don't Look Up, I think that helped it. And then you have, you know, the big build actors and Meryl Streep, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence in a movie, and you're like, oh, Netflix movie, yeah, we'll watch it. And I guess, like, I know when I go to work, they're like, oh, you gotta watch Don't Look Up, dude. Like,
and then it's got Ariana Grande in it, so all of her fans are gonna go towards it. But everything else in that movie, from the editing that is so awful, it's one of the worst edited movies that I've seen since Artemis Fowl.
Oh.
So Don't Look Up is one of the bad ones. So yeah, I was not a fan of Don't Look Up.
To hear your comments on that, because I've been reading these reviews and nominations and everything. Oh, serious contender, Don't Look Up. It's about global warming. No, I just didn't. Kate Blanchett, I love. There were so many people in it I loved.
Yeah, it was like a crowd-pleasing kind of cast, especially.
Chalamet, or whatever his name is, was in there. I mean,
Leonardo DiCaprio was in there, and people like Tyler Perry. And it was just a film that really could have missed the mark in telling what it wanted to tell, but otherwise it's just a big old satire that nobody wanted to sit through in the end. All right, so our pick should be. We'll go to Belfast. Is that the gold-winning ticket?
Yep.
All right.
I mean, not only did he write it, he directed it.
That's correct. And maybe we'll move on to Best Director right now. Mac, why don't you read off the categories for Best Director?
All right, Best Director. We have Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, Ryusuke Hamaguchi, Drive My Car, Paul Thomas Anderson for Licorice Pizza, The Power of Dog by Jane Campion, and West Side Story by a good old Steven Spielberg. And we all know who else is taking this. It's going to be Kenneth Branagh. But although I got 20 on Spielberg stealing it from Branagh.
I don't think Branagh will get it. I think Campion will get it because of her strong direction for Power of the Dog. But I could also see an upset giving it to Spielberg.
I think Campion will get it.
Mm-hmm.
I think her closest competition is Kenneth Branagh. And I don't think Steven Spielberg stands a chance.
Really?
I don't think Steven Spielberg is popular in Hollywood. I really don't.
Not
Well,
anymore, or just never was.
There were so many other movies that he should have.
Should have won for.
Saving Private Ryan, which to me was just a fantastic movie. He didn't get it for that, and I don't know. I know you loved it, Kristen. I think it's between Kenneth Branagh and Jane Campion.
Alrighties, we got to make a decision though on our final bets.
Ball.
Let's see though. I'm gonna say what my final decision though. I'm gonna give it to Campion though. What about you, Mac? What do you think is your first tie?
I think Brenna is gonna take it. It's just he's red hot. Belfast is really making waves. Especially just came out on DVD lately, so it's really making waves. I'm gonna go with Brenna.
And Jackie had said Campion, so overall, though, we're going to have to give our directing pick towards Campion. And next, let's move on to actor.
Let me say one last thing, Kristen.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
If you ever get a chance to meet Kenneth Branagh, he does not have an upper lip.
Really?
Yes.
That's
I interviewed him, and the whole time I'm sitting there thinking, this man doesn't have an upper lip. And every time I see him in the movies, I'm thinking. And in Death on the Nile, he's got a big mustache that covers.
Yes.
He just, you can't see me, but he doesn't have an upper lip.
Okay.
I don't know.
So before we move
Just
into
a little-
supporting, discuss your time meeting Kenneth Branagh.
I met him many, many years ago, and he came to Atlanta to publicize Henry the.
Oh, the King Henry movie? Was it that one?
Yeah.
Or? Yeah.
Yes. And he was charming. He was just starting out. He was married to Emma Thompson. Brilliant man. Shaped in theatrical knowledge. Personable. Everything good you want to say about somebody, but he didn't have an upper lip.
That's so funny.
And the whole time I'm interviewing him, I'm looking at his lip.
I'm looking
Thing to
at
do.
it now and he doesn't. I never noticed that. No.
Hold on, let me look this up.
That's so funny.
Kenneth
Oh my
Branagh.
God. That is so funny.
I mean, he's perfectly fine. I don't want him to be listening to this podcast.
Well,
So,
I'm sure he won't hear this.
Oh.
That's really, really, really funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that was what he was like when you were describing that time. That had to be for like Othello or Hamlet, because I was thinking back. I was trying to think because I think he did.
It's called Henry VI or Henry, something like that.
Because then there was what is it? Jack Ryan, but I think King Henry. Oh my gosh, yeah.
No lip. No lip.
I'm thinking of. Do you know what I'm thinking? It could be the Guy Ritchie film though, the King Henry movie. That's why, because I always mix up,
I just remember in the movie he gives a great speech. It's a famous speech to the troops as he sends them into battle.
Now I must guess. Do you like him as a director or an actor more? Because I think this is a good debate for a lot of people to have.
I just saw that Death on the Nile about 3 weeks ago, and I thought he was a much better director of that film than a Hercule Poirot. So I think he's brilliant behind the camera. He can be brilliant in front of the camera, but he has been consistently strong in his directorial.
Yeah, I couldn't say that. I think
he's. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, go ahead.
Like, I compare him to someone like George Clooney, who, like, man, when George Clooney, he's a phenomenal actor, but I will say, George Clooney has directed a lot of duds in his career.
Yeah.
George Clooney has been cast in 100 duds.
That's
That's
true.
true.
His career is littered with duds.
It's like
Yeah,
he's
he's
very
had a
much
few
on a
great-
shaky path, I feel like, whenever he
Yes.
steps on a new project.
When I see it's a George Clooney movie, I'm thinking, uh-oh.
You pull your collarbone or your shirt
He
and go,
made-
uh-oh.
Ocean's 11 wasn't that the one that was one of his biggest grossers with Brad Pitt
Yes.
and Matt Damon? He's had some lucky hits, but you go back and look at the list of his films, and it's like dud.
Yeah.
Dud.
I think the last movie
But that was it. Just
okay.
What was the last George Clooney movie you saw, Mac?
The last movie George Clooney I saw that he directed in was that Suburbicon movie with Matt Damon and what's her name? Matt Damon and
was that like Oscar Isaac, or I think it was in that?
Yeah,
I think Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore, yeah.
It
was like it was. I saw a lot of people hated it, and I was like, it's not bad, but it's very disappointing.
That's what a lot of people said.
And then he did Tomorrowland before that, and that was very. He didn't direct it. That was a Brad Bird film, but he was very underwhelming as one of the.
Remember the movie? Was it last year or the year before where everybody had died off on the planet, and he and the little girl were.
Yes, The Midnight Sky.
Midnight Sky.
That was another film he directed, and then he just released. I think he directed The Tender Bar as well. That one that also hit Amazon recently, and that was one of the only films I didn't get to watch during award season yet. It's still on my watch list though. Did you enjoy it though, Jackie?
No.
No.
It was okay. It just didn't have. To me, it didn't know where it didn't. And Ben Affleck was just Ben Affleck.
That's what I figured. And I'm going through it now. I don't know if we'll ever see George Clooney nominated for an Oscar, because
probably
given
not
his previous work, he did win an Oscar.
He won one for co-writing or something.
Yeah, it was like for that, but I think he would want it more for directing. That's what I think though, because I think that's what he's geared towards more. But then again, he's also, has worked with a lot of established people. So, he did win he's won 2 Oscars. So, correct me if I'm wrong. He shared the Oscar with the Argo cast. Oh my gosh, that movie's been almost released 10 years. That's insane. Okay. And then he also won an Oscar for Best Performance by an Actor in I can't even see. Sainira. It's got one with Matt Damon in it. It's one I haven't seen though.
I saw it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, it just looks like an average film that I'm like, oh, okay.
There are people right there. There are 2 people right there. Matt Damon is like George Clooney. Matt Damon will have a hit, and then he'll have just movies that are okay, and then he'll have another hit, and then he'll go to. Everybody said The Last Duel was going to be the big movie of the year. Remember that?
Yes, and I loved The Last Duel. I think that one was awesome, but nobody saw it.
Nobody did.
It was like Game of Thrones on the screen without the dragons. It had all the medieval knight stuff. It was great. It was an awesome feminist piece too, and it was really awesome. I really enjoyed it, but
really
cared.
But it was like everybody looked at it and said, "I don't care."
Yeah, that's what everybody said. They were like, nobody was interested. Everybody wanted the Ridley Scott film that nobody wanted.
But Jodie Comer, is that her name?
Yeah, Jodie Comer.
She was great.
She was amazing. She should have been nominated in the one of the categories that we're going to talk about upcoming. I think she was really miscast. I think, and not miscast. She should have been recognized in another category, but I thought she was incredible in it. And Ben Affleck was also good in that movie. I really enjoyed his bleached blonde hair.
An agent.
So,
and then he threw himself into it and didn't care what people thought about him or anything else. He was just having himself a good old time in that movie.
You know it. And then even Adam Driver. You can't go wrong with an Adam Driver project. You can't go wrong with an Adam Driver movie. So he was also good in that. Yeah, he was. Adam Driver was pretty terrifying in that. I wouldn't want to be with him.
But you and I are so much in agreement on this. Adam Driver has emerged as one of my all-time favorite actors.
Oh, 1,000%.
I thought in House of Gucci, he was fantastic. I had that movie he made with Scarlett Johansson about a marriage.
Oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite movies. Oh my gosh, I love that movie.
I did too.
Made me cry.
Tying shoelaces, the most romantic thing in the world.
Do you know what people did not also recognize Adam Driver for?
What?
Annette. Nobody cared about Annette. Thank you. He killed his singing. Oh my gosh, it was like a spoken word dialogue where it all blended with Marion Cotillard. Oh my gosh, it was like a beautiful piece of work.
That movie, Mac, have you seen Annette?
No, I have not.
I gotta give you my Amazon Prime account. You gotta watch it.
But let me tell you, Annette is one of those movies that should not work.
It should, but it does.
What is it about?
It has everything going against it. I mean, I'm not going to ruin it for anybody by saying what it has going against it, but it's a musical, it's a drama, it's got some weird things thrown into it, but it is so good.
I love the puppetry. There's puppetry involved here.
Puppetry.
What is this movie?
Okay, this movie is.
Thinking, I'll probably fall asleep.
Yeah, if you fell asleep in the prom, then you'll probably sleep in a net.
No, it's Adam Driver. I watched it. The prom was just boring teenager stuff that I'm like, I don't care anymore.
But Annette was a story about a couple, and Adam Driver's character gets jealous because, you know, Marion Cotillard is like excelling in her career, and then they have a yeah, he's like Bo Burnham, but, you know, less successful than Bo Burnham. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, he has his roughs out with his wife, and it's like all about jealousy and rivalry. They have a kid, you know, they love each other in the beginning, and then it all derails. And there's a twist that happens in the middle of the film, which I don't want to reveal. You got to watch it. It's good drama. It's like a really crazy soap opera.
Who's the guy from The Big Bang Theory who's in it?
Oh, the one that's got the coconut head. Excuse me.
Wow.
I don't really know what that means, but
it's like a coconut shaped head, and it's Simon Helberg.
Simon Helberg. He was good in that movie.
He was good in that movie, and then he was also in he was also in that other Meryl Streep movie that was in years ago.
Where he played the piano.
Yeah, it was like that one, which I didn't like either. No.
She was a terrible singer.
Yeah, that one.
Nobody would tell her, but she was a terrible singer. That was a movie. Meryl Streep, yeah.
Yeah, that was a movie, and it was also terrible. And it was also terrible.
I like that one.
No, I wanted to pull my hair out watching that one. Well, then again, I'm not a huge Meryl Streep fan. But then, before I get thrown with tomatoes, let's move on to the category.
Oh yeah, we're doing the Oscars.
Yeah, we're doing Oscars.
Whoops. Oh yeah, we were at best supporting role, right?
Supporting role. You want to, Jackie? You get to pick. You want to talk supporting actor or actress?
Let's go with actress.
All right. In the category of best supporting actress, we got Jessie Buckley in The Lost Daughter, Ariana DeBose in West Side Story, Judi Dench in Belfast, Kirsten Dunst in The Power of the Dog, and Ujane Ellis in King Richard. So I'm sorry I butchered that last name. You guys know I'm bad with names. But Mac, why don't you kick it off first, though, this time? And who could the award go to?
Well, I have not seen The Power of the Dog, but you and Jackie have said that this is actually a great film. So it's either going to be between Kirsten Dunst, or maybe they'll just give it to Judi Dench, because I feel like that. You know, I think she's maybe overdue for an Oscar, especially the last two movies I saw her in were not good, with that being Cats and Artemis Fowl. So she's due for some redemption.
That is true, though, but that Ariana DeBose has been sweeping up award season, though. Mr. Hooper, what are you picking?
You're right. Ariana DeBose is on a roll. I mean, she won the SAG Award, and she's been nominated by every critics group around. Rita Moreno won an Oscar for the same role in the original Sad Story. It's a dynamic role. She was in Prom,
which I didn't like her in the Prom, but I think this one I adored her in, though.
But I think Kirsten Dunst has been around forever. She started out in an Interview with a Vampire.
Yes.
And Brad Pitt, when she was like 12 years old. And she's been making movies ever since. She's never won an Oscar. I don't even know if she's ever been nominated for an Oscar. She was terrific in Power of the Dog.
She was terrific.
Oh, my gosh, she was good. Judi Dench, I mean, nobody can hardly say anything negative about Judi Dench. She's just icon. And I liked her in Belfast. I thought she was good.
Mm-hmm.
I think, though, that it's going to be between Kirsten Dunst and Ariana DeBose. But I'm going to go with Kirsten Dunst.
Okay, so
Yeah, this is her first nomination out of anything, because she's been nominated for 4 Golden Globes, and this is the first time she's been nominated for an Academy Award.
and the nice part is she's also nominated alongside her partner Jesse Plemons, which we'll discuss next, though. But I think that was really nice, though, that they nominated both of them together like that. Kirsten, I think, also has a shot. I mean, if DeBose wasn't nominated, I would have said Kirsten Dunst hands down. But DeBose has been killing it. I adored her, and it just makes sense to, given, the role was played by Rita Moreno, just it's the same role, knowing that you can win an Oscar for playing that role. I think it's going to go to her because everybody just adored her in that film. And
I really think, too, Kirsten, that she put her own stamp on the role.
She did. And I like the fact
that Rita Moreno emblazoned in their minds with her performance, Oscar-winning performance. And here she comes in and she puts her own imprint on it.
She does. And I like the way she really took her character with certain things that happen with it. And just like what you just summed that up perfectly. She put her own stamp on that role. And I think that's what the Oscars like to see every once in a while. They also love to see young and upcoming new actors. So I think that it's going to go to Ariana, but I don't think this will be the first. This won't be the last time we won't see Kirsten Dunst nominated. I think she'll be nominated in the future. But also shout out to her because she is from Point Pleasant, New Jersey, which is not another Jersey girl to her representing. What?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Alrighty.
If y'all have not seen the Fargo, did you ever watch Fargo on television?
Oh, Fargo is great.
Yeah.
That's where she and Jesse Plemons met. They were both in Fargo, and they were both terrific in Fargo. And now they're both Oscar nominated.
Yeah, like I just said that earlier. They're both nominated together. And I think that's really sweet. Alrighties. All right, so again, I think, though, given our ticket nomination with leading the pack the most, it's going to go to Ariana DeBose. So moving on to actor in a supporting role. Mac, give us the results.
All right, so actor in a supporting role, we got, I'm going to suck at these names, Ciarán Hinds from Belfast, Troy Kotsur from Coda, Jesse Plemons from The Power of Dog, J.K. Simmons from Being the Ricardos, and Cody Smith-McPhee from The Power of Dog.
All right, Jackie, you kick it off this time with what's your pick?
Well, from the start, I thought it was going to be Cody Smith-McPhee's just away with, because in that film, The Power of the Dog, he is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very balancing act of a role that he walks throughout the film. And he shows nuances and shadings of that character that it takes a brilliant actor to do. But then Troy Kotsur, whatever his name is, has been walking away with everything for Coda. And he was great in Coda. And it would be the first time that a male hearing impaired actor won the award. It's the first time one's been nominated. He's got Marlee Matlin, his co-star. She was, first deaf person to win an Oscar.
That's right.
So he's got all that going for him. They're all. I like J.K. Simmons in Being the Ricardos. And of course, Ciarán Hinds in Belfast was great. But I'm gonna stick with Cody Smith-McPhee.
Yeah. Okay. So I was not a fan of Being the Ricardos. I
hated it.
Yeah, Mac and I weren't fans of it. But J.K. Simmons. Okay, Mac, why don't you go first before I explain?
I love me and my friend. Her name's Kelsey. We love I Love Lucy. Shout out to Kelsey. We love I Love Lucy. Like I will rewatch a lot of those shows. I even bought my mom like the complete season series on for Mother's Day, and we sat down and watched it. And like watching it, I'm like, first of all, I think I have nothing against any of the actors in it. I think Nicole Kidman, Javier Bardem, J.K. Simmons, everyone they did a great job from what they're working with. Aaron Sorkin, he's a very talented screenwriter and director. It's just for the cast, they should have gotten a Pedro Pascal to play Desi and like an Emma Stone to play Lucille, like a younger interpretation of Lucy and Desi, like when they were starting out, how they got the show. I did kind of seeing them doing the later years, like, I'm not sure about it. It was just, I just didn't interest me. And it was just very like, I felt it was very tedious at points.
It didn't hook me in ways that I was hoping for, and I felt like they were wanting to go the extreme route and show the ending results of the show, which I understood why, and that's the direction they wanted to go with. But it wasn't. I agree with Mac. It wasn't as interesting. I think it would have been interesting more to see them start out,
yeah,
and have their way go through it like a true biopic. I think it would have been a little bit more juicier for me, and then given the drama, and then you find out he does have that affair, and then there's the whole communist concept, because that was the focus of it, was her, is it Lucille Ball a communist, and it just it wasn't as interesting. And my parents were also Lucille Ball fans, and they couldn't get even into it. My mom actually gave up I think 45 minutes into the film. And I always say a film stands out as if my parents didn't either sleep or walk out. And this film, they made my mom walk out. My dad just sat there like, oh God, when is this over? So, okay.
Let me say this. Amy Poehler produced and directed a new documentary called Lucy and Daisy that's on Amazon. It is everything you wanted to know about Lucy and Daisy.
It's on my watch list.
And because their daughter, Lucy, was, the source of information for it, and it just gave so much more validity to everything. And it's in the, Aaron Sorkin compressed so much into that 1 week that didn't happen in 1 week. Yeah. This gives the time period. It goes back into the early careers, how they met, why they met, etc. So,
and I think that. And I think that's what Mac and I are going to like more. Maybe we'll talk about it on the show one day, but it is on my watch list, though, because I heard this when the Sundance program came out, because I got to see some films at Sundance, and then I heard it was picked up by Amazon. I was like, okay, I'll wait. And everybody who got to see it at Sundance loved it as well. So I am looking forward to that, though.
Yeah, and then remember Lucy, we covered on the podcast, I think a while back ago, that the daughter she said there were some parts of the movie that were just wrong. So I was like, okay, that's kind of a red flag to me.
Yeah, a major red flag. But otherwise, going back to the supporting actor category again as we go off the rails, which is totally fine. We got the category of supporting actor, but my pick, though, and seeing all these performances, Jesse Plemons will also, I see, getting nominated in the future. I think it's Joy Kotzer, though, for taking home the award.
He'll make history.
He'll make history, and I think that's what they often like to do at times with the Oscars. They like to give it to, people who also stand out. And I think with Joy Kotzer, he does a superb job. Not that everyone else does a superb job in the film. And I think that father emotional performance where, he goes up to his daughter in the film and he puts his fingers to her throat and wants to feel her sing. I think that's so beautiful, the way he just illustrates this supporting father performance, trying to understand what his daughter wants to do with her dreams. I think it's beautiful, and he killed it in the film. But Cody Smith-McPhee is also a good strong chance, though. His character is a little bit less as complex as Benedict Cumberbatch in the film, but I think it's going to go to Troy. What about Mac? It's your chance.
So I haven't seen The Power of Dog, unfortunately, but I did see Coda, Belfast, me and Ricardo. So I think I'm going to go with Troy too, because he was great, and I thought he did a great job with his character.
Did you get to see it over the weekend where it was released in theaters all week? Or that weekend because it was.
No, I didn't.
Okay, you got to see it with some friends.
Did they show it free?
They did. That's what we were just asking. They showed it free for like that weekend, right before Batman was released. So they had to, if you got the chance to see Coda for free, good for you. I had to use my Apple subscription.
Yeah, I had a free trial, so I just went ahead and watched it.
That's the way to do it. Alrighties. So Troy is taking our hot pick. Alrighties, Mac. You want to move on to the next category?
Yes, what would that category be?
All right, you pick actress or actor.
All right, so actress in a leading role. We have Jessica Chastain for The Eyes of Tammy Faye, Olivia Colman for The Lost Daughter, Penelope Cruz for Peril, Mothers, Nicole Kidman for Being Ricardos, and Kristen Stewart for Spencer. And before we get into it, it's funny that I see Jessica Chastain and Penelope Cruz in this list because they're probably one of the worst films of 2022 with 355. So good for them for being nominated for an Oscar.
Oh, I hated that movie. Oh, I hated that movie.
I didn't think it was bad. And I really like Penelope Cruz in that movie.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
I don't blame any of the actresses. It's just I did not like that script. It was so boring. I would rather watch Uncharted again.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna just spoil the 355 because I just absolutely hated it. But I just thought Sebastian Stan was the most underwhelming villain for the film. He was so underdeveloped, and just like I was like, I was like, no, you're gonna make him the villain. Like, why?
Why not?
Everything didn't make sense in the movie. It just was like, all right. But anyways, going back to the actor. Oh yeah, we're doing actress. Sorry.
Yeah.
Chastain, I was surprised she won the other night for SAG. Did you enjoy Tammy Faye, Jackie?
I thought she was good. I just didn't think the movie was that good.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people had to say, and I completely agree with that. One of the problems I had with the film was that it shined on a somewhat controversial figure given what her husband had done. And I was wondering, okay, is she deserving of a film that we need to get invested with? I'm sure she's a lovely person to a certain degree, but I don't know if she was worthy of a film.
Well, let me say this. I lived through that time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Jim Baker and Tammy Faye. And when it was going on, and I didn't get this impression from the film, she was pretty much implicated in the same things that he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, taking money, blah, 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 living in the lavish lifestyle. This, to me, painted him as the villain and kind of gave her a pass.
Yes.
And emphasized more on the fact that she, had the guy on her show who was an AIDS victim, and that was all well and good. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
But just kind of gave her a pass on all the corruption within their organization.
Yeah, and I felt like
I did like Jessica Chastain, but I just didn't go all out for the movie.
I think she was nominated for one particular scene, and it's that scene where she does have the conversation with the AIDS victim, and I thought that scene really stands out the most in that film. I really loved that scene. It's a beautiful scene, a touching scene. Yeah. You're right. It was just you just said it. It's a touching scene, and I love the way that Chastain brought the character to the performance. She brought Tammy Faye alive. But the film wasn't as strong, though. I will say that.
I will say I'm surprised Andrew wasn't. I thought he was good in that. I liked him as her husband. I thought he brought a great performance.
Andrew's a interesting actor. Fun fact: I did get to meet him.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Did?
Yeah, he's a lovely man.
I was so surprised by his musical talent in Tick Tick Boom.
Yes, and we will talk about that next, though. But for my pick is slightly torn in three different directions.
Wow.
Because It could go to Nicole Kidman because she's a favorite. Because, you know, she's playing a figure who was loved by the Academy, Lucille Ball. Kristen Stewart was excellent in Spencer.
Oh my gosh. I just watched that. I was completely shocked. I will say this right now, right hand up on the camera on this audio podcast. I take back every bad thing I've said about Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson over the years. I always said, man, those Twilight movies suck. These actors suck. I'm like, okay, you guys are really good actors. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were just unfortunately had to work their way through the teen route, but I would love to see it go to Kristen Stewart. But then again, I wasn't a fan of The Lost Daughter. I really didn't like it. And as someone who read the book, but then knows the Academy loves this actor, is Olivia Colman, because she did win that Oscar for The Favorite. Mm-hmm. And she's British, and I feel like the Academy often likes to award British people. And I think she's just a favorite, and I think it could go to either one of those three, but I think my heart is on Nicole Kidman.
I agree with you. I would narrow it down to it's between Olivia Colman and Kristen Stewart. I hate to say I think Olivia Colman will win and should win, because I did not like The Lost Daughter.
Thank you. Did you read also the book, Jackie? I
did not read the book. I just thought, if I was a woman considering having children, I would go out and be sterilized. It was that. Those were the worst mother-daughter relationships I have.
It was really bad, and I didn't like it.
It was bad that Jessie Buckley, the younger version of the character, that she left.
Yeah, and that's what happens in the book. The book is pretty much spoiled. The book is pretty much the retelling of the film, but the book is a little bit stronger, though, I have to say, than the film. But in the book, though, Jessie Buckley does get up and leave her daughters, like, with her husband, and it goes to have, live out her life in a way that to forget that she even had kids.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was just, but aren't you surprised that with Olivia Colman getting a nomination, Jessie Buckley getting a nomination, that Maggie Gyllenhaal didn't get any recognition?
I think she did get recognition for the screenplay, though, the adapted screenplay. That's right. Yeah, but I'm happy, though, she didn't get nominated for directing, because I don't think her directing was very strong here.
Yeah.
And I got to see her twice during her promotional tour of this thing. I was at a film festival working it, and she was there, and she inspired me to go read the book because nice. She was there to talk about the film, and then they showed the film. I didn't get to see the film during that time, but I heard her talk. And I was like, okay, I feel inspired to read the book. I read the book because it's a short story. My boyfriend and we went to a screening of it, and the whole cast ended up showing up, and Olivia Colman got to speak over Skype. Yeah, and my boyfriend and I were not fans of the film, and he's like, what the heck is this movie? And we're sitting there, I'm like, yep. And the whole time, this is so bad of us, when we were after the screening, we both couldn't stop laughing about the pine cone incident. Jackie, you know, you see that where the pine cone just hits Olivia Colman. I just thought it was the most overdramatic performance of a pine cone being hit by an individual. I just thought it was so funny that I was just like,
when she'll thank the pine cone.
Yeah, she could thank the pine cone, and I just thought it was so funny because it was just so ridiculous. But I just don't like the direction that she took with the whole Jack Gyllenhaal took with the film. But she has, I think, a chance though with other films though. But it wasn't too pleased.
A few years ago, I saw a movie called Wild Rose. Did either of y'all see it?
Yes.
Jessie Buckley. Yes. Jessie Buckley. She was so good in that. I thought the sky's the limit for this person. I have not seen her in a strong movie role since then.
Oh, I completely agree to that.
And I didn't think she was a standout in this film, The Lost Daughter. I certainly couldn't see her growing into Olivia Colman.
I did like her though in she was in supporting of Judy, even though she
Yes, she was.
and I liked her in that. And I think she was really good. I also liked her in the I'm thinking of Ending Things, and which is that Charlie Kaufman film that was released back in 2020. I liked that one though, but
I just love. I mean, Wild Rose cemented it for me. I loved her in Wild Rose.
But otherwise, she's been in a couple of I think this goes back to our George Clooney top, some bumpy films, because she was also in Doolittle. She was in another film called Misbehavior, which I wasn't also really that crazy about. She was just like has her ups and downs, but I think she's still making her way. So, but go back to that. I picked Nicole Kidman. Mac, what are you picking?
Yeah, it's gonna be Nicole Kidman. They love it. I know you're talking about how they love the what do you call it?
Olivia.
They love the Olivia Colman, British actors. So they're probably gonna give you Nicole because it's more of a with Nicole. She was in an Aaron Sorkin film. When you're anything with an Aaron Sorkin project, you already have credibility.
That is 100% true because Sorkin did win. I believe it was when he won the 2020.
He went for Chicago 7?
I thought he did.
I'm not sure.
I wanted
to. And A Few Good Men,
Yeah, he was also he did do that, but I want to double check to see if he did win, but I don't remember. Because I remember watching Trial of the Chicago 7, I just thought it was okay. Okay, so he didn't win, but he's been nominated. So
it's an honor to be nominated.
So, yeah. So I think overall, though, guys, if you want to take your bets on this, we're all going to say Nicole Kidman. And now let's move on to...
No, two of you are saying Nicole. I'm going to stick with Olivia.
Okay. Sweet. All right. We got Olivia, and Nicole. So moving on to the I can't talk. Category of actor in a leading role. We have Javier Bardem in Being in the Ricardos, Benedict Cumberbatch in The Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield for Tick, Tick, Boom, Will Smith and King Richard, and Denzel Washington in The Tragedy of Macbeth. All right, Jackie, you kick it off again this time. What's your...
you said how sweet it was that Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons were nominated as they're a couple. But Javier Bardem is married to Penelope Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
Got another couple both nominated. In the best actor, I would be satisfied if it were Benedict Cumberbatch, Andrew Garfield, or Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
I was not impressed with Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz.
No.
And I wasn't crazy about Will Smith and King Richard.
Really?
I love him in King Richard. I hope he wins.
I think there's a strong chance. I think at this point.
I do too. But I'm going to pick Benedict Cumberbatch.
I do see this going into three different ways. Going back to the actress category, I think it could either go to Benedict, Andrew, or Smith at this point because he won the SAG the other night.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then, however, Benedict did win. Not Benedict. Andrew did win the Golden Globe for Tick, Tick, Boom.
And I thought Andrew Garfield was amazing in Tick, Tick, Boom.
He is amazing in Tick, Tick, Boom. He was also previously nominated and for Hacksaw Ridge.
Yep.
And
which I love.
Another great film. However, that Benedict Cumberbatch was also nominated for The Intimidation Game, which is also excellent. And I think he's an actor who's been working his way to get an Oscar. Not saying that all of them have to, especially Will Smith, given his long career path. And I think oftentimes people also like to see surprises at the Oscars, and I think it could go to this is hard because it's so hard to see the Academy give this award to like 3 different people. If they could just chunk it up into pieces and give it to all of them. Do I want to go with King Richard, or I shut out? I think I shut out Andrew Garfield at this point. So I'm gonna go with Jackie again on this one. I'm gonna say Benedict Cumberbatch. I might change my mind in a few days though. But,
this is just tonight.
Yeah, this is just tonight, and right now I'm thinking Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm gonna have to do more my research to figure out who I want to give it to, because I feel like for the acting category, it's been all over the place what I've seen in terms of giving the award to.
I think at this point Will Smith has the momentum, but it could change. You never know with the Oscars, but
They can always give it to Denzel.
They could give it to Denzel. They often do those.
Yeah, I mean, he made Macbeth bearable.
He did. I wasn't. I didn't love Macbeth as much, but I think what really sold the film and what really carried the film was Denzel's performance.
I sat there and thought, I don't know if I can watch this. I remembered Macbeth from high school. And how terrible it was. To me.
Macbeth is a hard play to sit through, and this goes back to the day when Denzel Washington was actually on Broadway and performed the play on stage. So this was interesting to see that adapt, because it felt like a stage play. That's the only thing that also kind of bothered me at times. It did feel like a official Broadway show, like, when Phantom Events, they bring that stage to the screen.
Oh, like with what they did for Fences?
Yeah, kind of like what they did for that. And when I say like Phantom Events, it's like there's these things called Phantom Events where they'll like record like the Metropolitan Opera or a symphony orchestra, and they'll put it on screen for people to go out to the theater and see it.
Basically, it's what they did with Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what they. And I felt like that's what they did with Tragedy of Macbeth. But with the stage performance though is a little bit. I enjoyed that more in Macbeth, but it's a movie to sit through, and it's not. I know it's not for everybody though. But did I pick the person? Yes, I did. It was Benedict Cumberbatch. So all right, so we Max said Will Smith, but majority of us said Benedict Cumberbatch. So if you want to pick your Oscar pick, if you're listening, majority of us say Benedict Cumberbatch. And now we're going to round out to the last category. Mac, do you want to say the first 5 films, and then I'll say the last 5 films? Because there are 10 movies nominated.
For Best Picture, correct?
Yes, so you say the first 5, and I'll announce the last 5.
All right, so the first 5 up for Best Picture at this year's Oscars, you have Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, and Dune.
And then the last 5 are King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. Jackie, what is your pick for Best Picture?
The two I think that, the two that I would like to see, in the final count are Belfast and The Power of the Dog.
Mm-hmm.
What's sad is there are movies on that list that I just did not like, as we've already discussed. Don't Look Up, Licorice Pizza. But I think it's going to be between Belfast and The Power of the Dog, and being consistent with all the things I've said tonight, I'm going to stick with Power of the Dog.
I 1,000% agree. I think the Academy loves these complex films, and I didn't get to say it earlier, but the character that Benedict gets to play is very complex. He's not a likable guy, and you've seen the story of this whole film play out of this family. It's really an emotional journey and a thrilling ride. I really liked that a lot. But then again, people love heartwarming films, so it could go to Belfast, though. But I think my hot ticket item for this is Power of the Dog. However, if I could give it the Oscar to any film, it would be West Side Story.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah! Give it to West Side Story. All the awards. Mac, what's your pick?
I'm going to continue with Belfast. I think Belfast is going to probably be the one that takes it. That's kind of like the heavy favorite.
It is a favorite. I think who knows? Maybe if the Academy is really nice and they were like, we've had a rough 2 years, maybe we should give it to a nice, heartwarming film like Belfast. So
I think it's going to be too that, especially with Power of the Dog and Belfast, it's either going to be a sweep for one or a sweep for the other.
That's I completely agree to that. And this also, if The Power of the Dog wins, this could be Netflix's, first Best Picture win.
Right.
Oh, God.
Imagine that. The same streaming service that is the home of The Kissing Booth
And Medea
is an Oscar-winning distribution company. But stranger things have happened, though. But that is our Oscar talk. So let's wrap it up. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up today's episode. I want to give one last huge thank you to the one and only good friend to the show, Jackie K. Cooper.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yes.
I had a great time. Great time. It was funny because if you listen to the whole thing, we had Amber on early on, and I was thinking, what can I do for the Oscars? Amber really doesn't know movies at all. And I thought, who am I going to talk movies with? And then I got an email or a text, I don't remember which, and got invited to do the show with y'all. And I thought, yes, I can talk too.
Yes.
And thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, and we're gonna have you on again soon. We'll review you. I'm sure we'll pick out another great new release that we'll get to review with you again. But for now, go follow the one and only, the incredible Jackie K. Cooper on social media, and be also on the lookout. We didn't get to mention this earlier, but you have a book that you're writing.
Yeah.
Yes, it'll be out in the fall or spring of this year. Fall or winter.
I am picking up a copy.
This will be my 8th book.
Your 8th book?
Yes.
Oh my
wow.
gosh. Oh my gosh, I have to read the rest of your collection. But I do want to, however, I do want a signed copy though of your book though when it is released. And
The Wisdom of Winter.
I love it. And guys, be on the lookout when it's released this fall. But I'm sure we will have you on sooner, and maybe we'll bring you on to talk about your book.
Ah, that's great. But
right.
Listen, again, thank you so much for this. I love to talk movies, and you two are great to talk to.
Oh, that warms our heart. That's going to make our day. It's going to make our night. It's going to make our whole week, maybe our entire year. So thank you for that and all the kind words. So guys, that's going to wrap up today. Again, that's going to wrap up today's episode. Like I said, go follow Jackie and go check out Amber as well. Thank you again to Amber for, saying hello. It was good to see her face. Well, not face to face because we can't see each other right now because we are an audio podcast. So for now, guys, thank you, and check out our latest interviews with Nick Moran, the director behind Creation Stories, along with Philip Martinez behind that film, Love in Paradise. And we have a few new interviews coming up soon, so be on the lookout for that. And next episode, I think Mac and I will be talking the one and only Batman.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
That's going to be exciting.
Yes, and I'm sure we will have a guest for that, or it will be just Mac and I. But for now, stay tuned and follow the show on Instagram, and follow Mac and I on Twitter at KFilmingo and Mac at Mac Movies. Go follow us on our individual pages at Miss Filmingo and Mac Movie Reviews. And we will see you all in the next round.
Bye.
Bye.
Fuck you in the lanes you came with. Me and you ain't on the same shit. You ain't in my lane, bitch. Nah, all that shit it fit. Rollie on my wrist. Ay, baby, you a star. I'm my only wish. I'm counting blue hundreds. I'm too money. Ay, and my little bitch, she too calling me right back. Ay, baby, why you calling me like that? Yeah. Getting high with the seat laid back.